they denied it. For example, when it came to the tariffs and like the errors on the calculations, people were like, because like Elon was pushing, has been pushing Grok so much and everything when he was in the ministry, people were like, there was like a reporting that they potentially had used like a LLM to like help with the calculations. And I was talking to someone, they were like, no, definitely not. I'm like, he was using a lot of generative AI during his campaign and like different AI stuff within like their messaging openly. Like, why would you be surprised if they were also using it for those types of decisions?
Yeah, we have a crew in control of the government now that's going to make inequality worse, not better. And that stuff makes me sad. You're about to see supercharged inequality as AI rips through these orgs, and the first victims are going to be current workers who are automatable, but also people who would have occupied those jobs. And for whatever reason, Jules, I don't know what this says about me, but I always put myself in the shoes of like a 22-year-old recent college graduate. I think to myself, I have no idea how that 22-year-old is going to play out, like show up to some big corporate, get experience, start paying off their loans. It's like the big corporate's not going to hire that person anymore because like, why would they? One of the things, it makes me super upset. And the thing that's changed between, me in 2020 and now is like my confidence in our institution's ability to meaningfully invest and respond to these changes. Like I'm going to be on CNN later today talking about, AI
Is it a specific topic or just general?
Oh, it's actually about AI and some of these stats we're talking about, because when a news network's like, oh, snap, AI is going to eat the jobs, who should we talk to? Yang, he talks about this, which I do. And because this is like near and dear to my heart, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. But the thing that I've lost confidence in is that it's actually going to amount to some policy change, that someone's going to wake up and be like, oh my God, AI is going to eat all the white collar jobs. We have to do something. We have to put in an AI tax. We need to start paying people for their data. We need to start investing in communities. Because
so I don't think anyone wants to be the one to possibly stifle something. And they don't so I think that's where.
Well, to your point on this side is that some people, and this has been, it's very, one of the reasons I appreciate what Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, said when he said, hey, by the way, we're going to eat all the white collar jobs. Might want to do something about that. And then they asked him, what should we do? He's like, you should tax us, because fact is, you're going to have to get the money from somewhere to start, paying for these people. But most AI CEOs and corporates will do exactly what you would expect a big company to do when asked. They're like, look, you cannot tax us because we need to beat China. And if you tax us, that's going to make us less innovative. We're going to lose the AI arms race. And do you want to be responsible for China winning the AI arms race? And then everyone in the government's like, oh, no. And you'd be like, look, I get that we need to compete with China and I'd love to see us win, but I'm not sure that taking a sliver of the gajillion dollars is going to meaningfully stifle your progress. And we might want to do something that makes the average American feel like it's not a total catastrophe.
Yeah, because who's building this stuff? It's it's people, and people need help financially to live. So it's you helping people helps whatever, the innovation at the end of the day.
I've always been on the side, and Dario apparently has concluded the same thing, because Anthropic is one of the more conscientious companies in the space, and so he's like, look, guys, I'm going to come clean. We're going to eat the jobs. Should probably tax us. But the attitude I've always had is what I call enlightened self-interest, is that if you drive it too far and you stick it to people too far, then when the backlash comes, the backlash is going to make it very, very inhospitable to innovation. Or being ultra wealthy as a result of hoovering up the data or whatever the heck. And so it's if you try and approach it with a sense of balance and goodwill, it's I'm going to do great. I'm not going to try and get 99.9 percent of the gains. I'll actually accept whatever the heck, 75% or whatever. I'm not going to maximal, push it all the way. But we're in an environment now where no one wants to have a sane, balanced, nuanced conversation about where the appropriate place to draw a line is. And it's just absolutist. It's if you fuck with us, we're gonna lose to China. So stay in your fucking lane, you stupid ass bureaucrat. And then then people are oh, and then and the Republicans aren't. They tend to be, in my opinion, very overly simplistic and very ideological themselves.
In what ways are you using AI right now, whether it's ChatGPT or otherwise, that you actually have found beneficial to your life?
So, I mean, it's just great at producing a rough draft of whatever the freak you want to do, whether it's a name for something, a report, a white paper, a story. I mean, and it generally is not good, but you can take whatever it is and refine it. And we all know.
What do you mean?
I
do you
don't
put
know.
in an idea? Like, is your input a general idea and you're like, write about this?
Yeah, it's like, hey, we need
I'm
a plan
kind of against
for.
that.
It's like, hey, we need a plan to, like, lobby for a law that helps autistic children.
Okay.
As an example.
Okay, I'm not against that. That's what I was like, because I'm kind of against like being like, here's an idea, write it for me. Because when you think of college students, but then I'm not against.
Oh yeah, no. It's like, hey, we need to like we need to craft a lobbying plan to for a law that's going to benefit autistic children.
Like a thought partner type of vibe.
Oh, and just like see what the roadmap would look like, and then it produces a roadmap that at least like superficially, it's like, well, this sort of makes sense. And then you were like, okay, that doesn't, but that is fine, that doesn't. And then like the whole thing is done in record time, honestly. So
Yep.
You could just give any task like that. I mean, this is also one of the reasons why like the nature of our jobs is like has informed. This is like. Now I have this lobbying plan. It's like, is that going to change the world? No. Like you need resources and human beings and like actually need to go do the thing.
Yep.
But you can produce something that certainly a consultant would produce, in the click of a button or a fraction of the cost or whatnot. So, there are a lot of, I think David Graeber called them bullshit jobs. There are a lot of bullshit jobs that can evaporate. And so then you end up being left with, okay, I need an HVAC repair person. Like there's going to be a real human who does that. but there's like this entire world of paper shuffling and information processing and report generation and analysis that is just, going to disappear.
I recently did an episode with these two guys who grew a lot on TikTok the past few years. They're 19. They cover tech stuff. And it was their first podcast, and we were talking about specifically like our use cases, like ChatGPT and AI, and I didn't really realize this, but a lot of people in the comment section were like, it was interesting to hear that because a lot of people aren't talking about how because it's such an isolated personal experience, like your inputs with the system. It's like, like you're not really hearing people talk about how they are just like utilizing AI and what type of inputs, what type of conversations they're having with these systems. When we think of them, we talk about AI so broadly, but it is important, I feel like, to be learning from each other of how we're testing out these things.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I find myself involved in a wealth of research, that's when you turn. I don't use AI for my blog posts. I don't use AI for. I'm working on a manuscript right now. Like all that stuff I do the old-fashioned way. But I'm an unusual character too, where if I write something, it'll actually, it's like I feel like I owe it to people to, actually create and think. I mean, of the 3 nonfiction books I've written, like I wrote them all and every word and the rest of it. I'm writing this 4th book, and it's actually a very different type of writing. It's been fun for me. It's called Hey Yang, Where's My $1,000? And it's like interior life of the last number of years. It's meant to be kind of an insidery account for people that have followed me over the years. And I was trying to set myself a different bar because traditionally all the nonfiction I've written has been trying to solve a problem. And I want people to know too, when I said before, it's like I've lost confidence in our institution's ability to do much about this. Like I'm still grinding away on that path because in my mind's eye, if you have various reforms and there is a third force in American politics that can create a fulcrum in Congress and then maybe even compete in a presidential in 28 or 32, it's like I'm still taking shots at it. But I'm also, in the here and now where it's like, well, like that's going to take a minute. Like right now it's, Trump until further notice. and I think this came up in my conversation with Ross Barkan where they talk about the election in 28. I'm like, are we sure there's going to be an election in 28? And then some people are like, oh, of course there'll be an election. I was like, I mean, maybe you're more confident than I am. So, we have to try and solve problems in the current environment without waiting for the sea change while still working on the sea change.
Yeah,
It's a lot. It's dark. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Please do hit like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want to be notified every time a new episode drops. Thank you.